Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Good evening, Descendants and Zombies universe. If you have ever wanted the chance to believe in something with all of your heart, then I think this could be the YouTube channel for you, because I'm just as excited as each and every one of you about the upcoming premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. So many predictions, so many theories have been made early on. We still have about 6 months to go, but just because we have 6 months to go does not mean that we can't have these conversations, and we can't give people more of a hope of believing in something special happening for these franchises. I have felt more than honored to be a part of these conversations and to share in my memories of being a fan of Descendants and Zombies with each and every one of you. And I've had so much fun creating the relatable content that you guys have known and loved through the years. Because through the years, I've not only had the honor of creating so much relatable content for every fan of Descendants and Zombies and touched the heart of every girl out there who has loved Descendants and Zombies, because over 85% of the audience for Descendants and Zombies are girls, and it is very difficult to create relatable content for the girls who love Descendants and Zombies so much. But you know something? You guys truly have touched my heart, giving me the honor, a profound honor at that, to create content that has ever been so more relatable to every girl out there who has loved Descendants and Zombies. Having said that, I would just like to take the opportunity to say thank you so much for being with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here, and for taking a chance on this crazy guy, which was more relatable in his content than every other Descendants and Zombies creator out there. You guys have created some of the most beautiful artwork when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. This fandom have created some of the most beautiful YouTube channels ever created that I've ever seen. This has been so much fun for me, and I look forward to the unforeseeable future, because we never seem to know what that future has in store for every fan of Descendants and Zombies. You know, years ago, I was a fan of whatever I could be a fan of, and I was so excited, and I never felt more honored to be a fan of whatever I had the honor of being a part of. I was a fan of the original Goosebumps book series. Now, I know there may have been only 62 books published in the original Goosebumps book series, but it was so fun for me having the chance to review Goosebumps and being a fan of it, because the thing I think about today in this generation is how much of a fan you are of the original Descendants book series. It is so cool how the books from Descendants have so much detail in it and so much of a story to be told. I know there's somebody out there that's collected every Descendants books in the book series, and they love them so much. And I'm here to tell you guys there is nothing wrong with being a fan of the books, the dolls, the merchandise that comes with it. It is so fun. It is so incredible of a chance for me to be a part of this franchise, because you guys have allowed it. Now, I know these videos come from a guy who lives near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode, but you know something? That's what's so cool, to have the chance to create videos while living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant and living your life in fear of it exploding. It is so much fun, because I know that a boat could crash, sink, and explode. A plane could sink, crash, and explode. Either way, you will meet your impenetrable doom. But you know something? If I was going to die at the hands of anything, a boat explosion or a plane explosion, and die in the arms of the Descendants of Zombies niche and die with each and every one of you, I think I would take myself up the opportunity to do it. I say this because if I could die with the Descendants of Zombies universe, if the world was going to end at the hands of an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse, which one should never believe scientific experts online the chances of ever happening are second to none, I have never believed that. I've wanted to take a chance on your guys' predictions and how you believe that Zed and Addison had the most beautiful love story ever told, or how Victor and Nova's love story is going to be represented in such a phenomenal way. I've really had the time of my life, because I got to know Freya Sky for the person she was. How many nights would I come home from work, throw my keys on the kitchen counter, turn on the next step from YTV, which I live in Canada, and I know YTV's produced this show for many years, and I've seen some of the biggest stars achieve a name for themselves in the industry because of YTV and the opportunities they were offered. How many times would I watch an episode with Freya Sky playing an over-exaggerated version of herself, but having the time for life? Because she was so relatable to so many wonderful people. She had the opportunity to partake in these Q&As, answer every one of your questions, and your hearts have been obviously touched. So it doesn't give anybody the right to provide room for criticism in any conversation having anything to do with your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. I have loved them just as much as each and every one of you have, and if you've ever wanted to have a conversation about your favorite stars, I think there is more of an opportunity and more of a chance to have these conversations than perhaps ever before. I know there is somebody out there who just wants to hear something nice said about their favorite stars. I know there is somebody out there who loves having these conversations with their best friends. because they know that you never really need a whole lot of friends, you just need a few really good ones. And I've seen this to be proven more true than ever before. Come to think of it, what is this receipt? I always pre-order games at EB Games, and I'm always afraid to look at these things, but I love looking at them with each and every one of you. Ah! $104.98! What was that for? Oh, the new Resident Evil 9 video game coming out on February 27th. So as many of you have already heard and know, Resident Evil 9 drops on February 27th, 2026, and it's the 9th installment of the Resident Evil video game franchise. And if you've known anything about me over the years, Jonathan Clarke's played every horror survival video game of all time to prepare us for what could be the inevitable, which is the end of time. And you can never be too prepared for a zombie apocalypse. But how is one going to prepare us for a zombie apocalypse if they don't play Resident Evil video games such as Resident Evil 9? And I have this other video game receipt here. Let's see how much this one is for. $349.98! Oh, what do you get with this game? I think it was the 007 First Light video game, which comes out on May 27th. You get the gun, you get the replica book. It's pretty amazing. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, you paid over $349.98 for a steel book? Yeah, I did. I love collecting stuff, guys. I'm a collector. I'm a nostalgist. So when it comes to sharing you my insights on Disney content and knowing definite dates and times in history which were momentous, I love having the opportunity to have these conversations with people who have a soft place in their heart for characters like Red, Mal, and Evie, and it's just been so much fun for me, because I think it's one thing to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but having the honor to create all this relatable content for so many wonderful people has really presented me with a time of my life, and a time that I know that I will never ever forget. I'm going to see Silent Hill 2 tonight, the return to Silent Hill. I had no idea it was in the theater, but I'm seeing it tonight. Now, many of you have come to know that I have a greater appreciation for supernatural lore, so a couple of months ago I attended Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It was so fun seeing that and all these larger-than-life robots coming to life, and now tonight I'm heading out to see Return to Silent Hill, which is something I'm really excited about because I remember playing the original Silent Hill video games. Point being, if you've ever wanted to believe in supernatural lore, then I think Zed and Addis's story was beautifully told and beautifully represented, and I think that if you ever wanted to believe in something special for a fairy tale when it comes to your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters, you should, because they have forever been appreciative of each and every one of you. All they've ever wanted is the opportunity to tell you their story, and I think that having the opportunity to tell their story to each and every one of you and for you to share in that story has truly been incredible. Even with how incredible of a place that Zed and Addison held in each and every one of our hearts, I think that Victor and Nova's story is just going to be as incredible, and it's going to be so much fun for us to hear this story for the first time ever played out on the screen, because Disney Plus is going to receive a lot of great reviews. It's going to be high up in numbers with statistics of views for this one, because I remember how high the viewership was for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. Everybody wanted to see this one. Everybody wanted to be a part of something special. And I supported each and every one of you because of how you wanted to be a part of something special, because of the music and its story. Beautifully represented. And I think that there is so much more of a story for us to experience because of the beautiful characters we may have already met, but so many beautiful characters that we have yet to meet. One of them happens to be Liamani Segura. Many of you remember her from High School Musical, the series, and how phenomenal of a representation she did as her character on that series, and now how much of a phenomenal representation of her character Pink she is going to bring forth for the Descendants franchise, one of the many consequences of time travel. I have always wanted to have the opportunity to construct a time machine in my backyard, either that or a roller coaster, and you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, have you ever taken yourself up on the opportunity to build a roller coaster in your backyard? You guys have no idea how difficult that is to follow through with. I know I've promised you to construct a roller coaster, and who's to say that it won't happen, because I've always believed in having the opportunity to tell somebody something fun and to follow through with your fun predictions. I've always loved having these conversations with each and every one of you, because as many of you have known, I've been a Phineas and Ferb fan for many years. And you know, out of all of the video games that I've ever had the honor of collecting through the years, I have never been able to find the Phineas and Ferb video game, which was originally released on the PlayStation 3 a number of years ago, back in 2011. It was released around the same time Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension was released, and I never did find it. I saw somebody online selling it the other day for $110 taxes in. And I was like, you're crazy. The game is like 30 years old. But then it came to me how nostalgia plays a role in the value of stuff. And can you imagine how much nostalgia is going to play a role in Descendants merchandise 25 years from now? You think about 25 years into the future. I know that sounds more nostalgia than anything, but think about the value of the doll collection you have now. That's probably on your shelf. You're probably looking at it right now. And think about how much it's going to be worth and how much it's going to touch your heart knowing that you collected all the dolls. Many of you have collected every doll in existence, from Red to Mel to Bridget to Evie. You've got them all. And I see nothing wrong with that, because a girl's passion for Descendants of Zombies really has shined through. How much you think about the merchandise. You probably have a Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour hoodie that you've never ever taken off. And I want you guys to know that there has nothing ever been wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because we can never have enough opportunities to share in our story about what makes us a fan of Descendants of Zombies. And I have never felt more honored to be a part of these conversations with everybody who may have been a fan of these franchises. I think the world of every fan that I've ever had subscribe here to this YouTube channel, and that's the one thing you guys have got to know about me. What you're watching on YouTube, I think about how I can create more relatable content in the future for each and every one of you. That's all I've ever wanted to be a part of. Have you had the chance to tell your story with me, share your story with me about how you may have been a fan of Descendants of Zombies, even with how crazy my videos may be, and very different from everybody who has created the Descendants of Zombies video. And I think that a lot of YouTube creators really haven't grasped the appreciation for this fandom and really understood how a fan feels about Descendants of Zombies. I, on the other hand, understand how each and every one of you feel. How crazy a girl is about getting a ticket to her favorite star's concert, the Worlds Collide Tour concert, which happened this past summer, which achieved great rarity and wonderful reviews, and of course the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, which I know you guys were really excited about to share in. I was very excited. I went and got a slush puppy about 3 hours before the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. I watched it on my huge TV in my room, which I didn't have at the time, and I upgraded recently to a 65-inch plasma because I had to one-up these YouTube creators, and I had the opportunity to do it. And I know that these franchises have touched your hearts unquestionably, and if there was one thing I was going to do, and I was going to have the chance to be a part of a review, it was going to have to be saying something nice, because I know that a lot of people jumped at the opportunity to throw criticism our way about Descendants of Zombies, and I've always believed there is no room in any conversation having anything to do with constructive criticism or just criticism in general. It's never nice hearing what anybody's brutal opinion is about Descendants of Zombies, because they've criticized everything from the story to its characters to the costumes, which I honestly thought were really beautiful. I thought Pink's costume in the upcoming Descendants 5 Book Wonderland was gorgeous. And she donning that character, I think, is a tremendous opportunity for her to give us a chance to tell us more about her and what she's really all about. The PR for Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is something I'm incredibly excited about, because it's going to give us a chance to get to know this character more than ever before. I remember the PR for the original Rise of Red, I think, many years ago, and I remember how appreciative people like Ruby and Malia and Kylie were to share in the PR that was done over 2 years ago. And they were so excited to share with you their stories about how they were fans of the Descendants franchise and they wanted to be a part of something special more than anything else in their lives. And when they had the opportunity to be a part of this franchise, it was truly special. It was something I never ever forgot. I remember how excited Ruby Rose Turner was to get the call that she was Bridget in that franchise. And even though her story was very short-lived, I've always believed that she has more of a story to experience and share in with each and every one of us. You know, every day I see them posting something on social media to connect with each and every one of you. Vlogs, photos of themselves behind the scenes. Although there isn't really much leaked about Descendants 5 Book Wonderland up to this point. Hopefully about a month before the PR will pick up, we'll have more to tell you about, you know, the release window, what the release window is looking like, because I know a lot of you have felt like you've been left in the dark. But as the old analogy goes from time to time, and it's been said, you're never afraid of the dark, you're just afraid of what you can't see. And because you're afraid of what you can't see, the questions have forever remained unanswered. But I just want to put it out there to each and every one of of you that you guys have deserved to have your questions answered far long enough now, and I've just wanted to be a part of these conversations because every child out there who loves Descendants and Zombies matters. Everybody who's ever had a prediction or a dream about your favorite character deserves to have that question answered. And I think we've been left in the dark for far long enough now, and we've been finding our way out of darkness and back into that proverbial light for far long enough, and we have shared in so many incredible memories through the years, and memories that I've never felt more honored to have been a part of and share in with each and every one of you, because this is a constant. And what a constant is, for those of you who don't know, is something that has a chance, or even the slightest chance, of lasting for forever. And Descendants and Zombies, for sure, in my heart, from my heart to yours, has forever remained constant. Has forever and always had a way of touching each and every one of our hearts. And that's what makes being a fan of these franchises so relatable and so phenomenal, because the reviews that Descendants and Zombies in their entirety have received have fallen nothing short of phenomenal, have given us something to believe in more than we have believed in our entire lives, and I got to be a part of that. I got to be a part of that because of each and every one of you. I know I have all these Disney stuffies behind me, all these posters, and a lot of that has to do with how I heard the story about how Kylie Control's friend had a boyfriend who had just one poster on his wall merely, and a mattress on the floor, and Kylie looked at her in a phone conversation. They were texting back and forth, and she said, "Girl, that's your cue to leave." And I've always wanted to one-up him, so I went and got a bunch of posters, some reciprocal lights that Kylie Control is a huge fan of, and I've been creating relatable content ever since, hoping that somebody out there was going to fall in love with how I felt about Descendants and Zombies. Now, I wanted to share my story with everybody who may have ever been a fan of Descendants and Zombies. This has been so much fun for me, creating all this relatable content and creating something special for every fan of Descendants and Zombies, and just having the chance to be a part of it. I have no idea how much of a reach these videos have had through the years, because I've been creating Descendants and Zombies content for over 10 years, and that's been a long time, a long journey, a long ride that I've been on. I feel like I've been on this roller coaster ride that just keeps going up. And why does it feel like it just keeps going up? Because there's only way up, one way up on a roller coaster, and that one way is up, an ascension to greatness and great things. And all I've ever wanted you guys to be a part of on this long way up is this journey with me, because if you guys couldn't be a part of it, then I didn't want anything to do with it at all. But as long as you guys were riding along my side and you never left me, that's what made making these videos so wonderful for me, an unforgettable experience, and all I've ever wanted to be a part of is sharing in these experiences with each and every one of you, and some way or somehow I got to be a part of it because you guys believed in me so much. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for allowing me to have been a part of your life, to have come into your life and represented you as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. It has been so much fun for me creating all this relatable content. It is something I look forward to sharing with each and every one of you in that future, because we still have a long way to go. Why? Because this story is far from over, and one should believe that this story is far from over. If you've ever wanted to take on something, a chance on something at least once in your lifetime, or ever believe in something, I think you can feel more confident than ever before than believing in how Jonathan Clarke feels about Descendants and Zombies. And I would love for you to be a part of many more conversations that we have had, but we have yet to have about Descendants and Zombies, even though we are 6 months away from the premiere of Descendants 5: Book of Wonderland, and we have no idea when Zombies 5 is coming out. That's what makes this so fun. And I have really had the time of my life creating all this wonderful content for so many wonderful fans of Descendants and Zombies. Seriously, guys, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having been fans of Descendants and Zombies for however long you've been fans of the product, and I am so excited to share in this unbelievable future with each and every one of you, because we are a long way away from this ever being over. And I'm so excited to be a part of these conversations and these unbelievable memories with each and every one of you. This is truly unbelievable and something that I will never ever forget. And thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to have come into your lives and represented you as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. If you have ever been a fan of Kylie Control and believe in her with all of your heart, if you have ever been a fan of Rhea Sky and believe in her with all of your heart, and Leomani Segura and believed in her with all of your heart, then I think this is the YouTube channel for you. And I would love for you to take a chance on this crazy guy, because this story is far from over, and I've really had the time of my life being the host of this show. So if you would love to subscribe here, I would love for you to join me on what's been an incredible journey, truly an unforgettable one, and one that I've never wanted to be over. Because if I was going to be a part of anything, it was going to have to be something to do with Descendants of Zombies. I know it stemmed from a lot of criticism these franchises were, receiving, but I think we can never have more of an opportunity to be a part of something special. And I am so excited to share in these memories with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for having loved Descendants of Zombies and represented it as much as what you have through the years. And thank you so much for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, because you've obviously believed in it with all of your heart. And all I've ever wanted to give back to you and represent is something special. Thank you so much for being the fans of Descendants of Zombies you've been, and thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I've had so much fun being a part of it with each and every one of you and sharing with you my story about how I was a fan of Descendants of Zombies and hearing your story from beginning to end. Because this story is far from over and we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will pick up this conversation from where we left it off bright and early tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. I know that's really early, but I'm so excited to have even more conversations and more opportunities to share with you my story about being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, which I hope you will join me for. I'm going to go ahead and upload this video to my YouTube channel, and I'm so excited to hear from you again. Thank you so much for being the fans of Descendants of Zombies you are, and we will pick up this conversation from where we left it off bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for having watched this video.